In 1962, the entire planet came within one bad decision of ending, and it all started because two countries could not stop staring at each other. Welcome to Simply in Minutes. Today, the Cuban Missile Crisis, the closest humanity has ever come to hitting the self-destruct button. Quick setup. After World War II, the United States and the Soviet Union became rivals in the Cold War. They never actually fought each other directly. They just built nukes and gave each other the world's longest side-eye. Now enter Cuba. A guy named Fidel Castro takes over the country, and he is very much not a fan of America. Which is a problem, because Cuba sits about 90 miles from Florida. That's not a neighbor, that's a roommate. In 1961, the US tries to remove Castro with the Bay of Pigs invasion. It fails almost instantly. Certified skill issue. So Castro does the natural thing. He becomes best friends with America's biggest rival, the Soviet Union. The Soviet leader, Nikita Khrushchev, looks at the map and gets an idea. A terrible, glorious idea. What if we put nuclear missiles in Cuba, pointed directly at the United States? So the Soviets start secretly shipping missiles to Cuba. Emphasis on secretly, which is hard when the cargo is enormous. Meanwhile, President John F. Kennedy is just trying to have a normal, uneventful October. That ends on October 14th, when an American spy plane flies over Cuba and takes some photos. And the photos show missile sites, under construction, aimed at the US. Everybody's mood, this is fine. The pictures land on Kennedy's desk, and just like that, the calmest month of his life is over. He gathers his top advisors into a group later called XCOM, basically the most stressed men in America in one room. Their options range from, let's talk it out, all the way to, let's invade, with several stops at, everybody dies, in between. The military suggestion? Bomb Cuba immediately. Kennedy, wisely, decides maybe not lead with that one. Instead, he picks a naval blockade. They call it a quarantine, because a blockade technically counts as an act of war. On October 22nd, Kennedy goes on live TV and tells the entire country, hey, so, there are nuclear missiles nearby now. Cue nationwide panic. Bomb shelters, duck and cover drills, the whole apocalypse starter pack. The US goes to DEFCON 2. For reference, we have never in history gone to DEFCON 1. This was as close as it ever got. Soviet ships loaded with more equipment keep sailing toward Cuba, straight at the US Navy waiting to stop them. It becomes the tensest staring contest ever, except losing means the planet is gone. Then, on October 24th, the Soviet ships just stop. They sit in the water. Nobody crosses the line. But here's the part almost nobody knows. Under the ocean, a Soviet submarine is sitting near the blockade, armed with a nuclear torpedo. US ships drop practice charges to make it surface. Inside the sub, the crew thinks the war has already started. The captain wants to launch the nuke. Launching requires 3 officers to agree. 2 say yes. One man, Vasily Arkhipov, says no. That single no quietly saved the entire world. And most people have never even heard his name. Give this man a statue. Behind the scenes, Kennedy's brother Bobby starts secretly negotiating with the Soviets, because the real fix was just talking. The deal: the Soviets pull their missiles from Cuba, the US promises never to invade, and secretly agrees to remove its own missiles from Turkey. On October 28th, Khrushchev announces the missiles are leaving. After 13 days, the entire planet finally breathes again. Afterward, both sides get so spooked they set up a direct hotline between Washington and Moscow and sign the first nuclear test ban treaty. So the takeaway? The world was saved not by weapons, but by restraint, 1 quiet submarine officer, and 2 people finally answering each other's messages. That was the Cuban Missile Crisis in a few minutes. If your history teacher never mentioned the submarine guy, now you know better than them. See you in the next one.